Okay, guys, welcome to another trading session. And today's session is just similar to the one we had last week, which is the session is pre-recorded and my ideas are placed on this video, which is in live, so you can rewatch and make your trade assumption based on those ideas. Now, this is primarily for educational purpose only. My prime objective is to display the tools and show you exactly how it works, my personal approach to the market. Now, the strategy is based on a three-system strategy. One is a COT report, seasonality, and probability. And COT report is basically the commitments of traders report, which allows us to have an insight into what commercials are doing to the market. So commercials are primary market movers, people that use the market, not primarily to make profit, but for their normal day-to-day business transaction or your day-to-day activities. And we tend to follow those guys more because they need in some cases they need those currency to purchase the goods in certain region of the world, and they try to get the best bang for their buck. So the next thing is seasonality. Basically everything has a season, and we use the seasonality to allow us know exactly if there's going to be a movement in a specific direction, or if it's going to be in another direction, for example, and how long that movement is most likely going to last. And probability finally is the percentage of our chance of winning that trade on that specific date for entry. So probability and seasonality work hand in hand, because seasonality could give us a date, for example, and that day could fall on a Saturday or a Sunday. But probability help us pinpoint, I know you going on Monday instead of going on Friday instead, or maybe it's a Thursday before there or Tuesday after, so helps us narrow down and get a more concise entry in the market. So I've already selected an asset. The three assets that were in alignment this week was GBP, JPY, and gold. I've selected GBP for this, and since the session, I'm trying to make it not as long as possible, so I'm just going to go with what I've selected and not look more than that scope. Now, as I said, and I'm saying this again, this is for educational purposes only. Take this trade with your discretion and your own strategy that you have. So let's dive in. Now, from the COT report, as I said before, we're looking at the commercials. Now, the commercials are these guys that need, the asset, for example, the GBP to buy something in UK, for example. So what they're doing is they're going short. Now, short means they're selling the market. As of the 25th of 04, 2023, we can see they're going short, selling the market, and long just simply means buy. Now, we don't look at this figure right here. What we look at is the changes, right? The changes, which is what they've done within the last week. It's a lagging indicator. It only comes out once every week, but it's good enough because it gives us an insight, because some of these guys are pending orders in certain positions, and we just try to piggyback off of those positions. So they're selling, and I just like to make a note, GBP going short. Now that's all I need from this. Once we have that, we don't need a COT report anymore. We could quite frankly just close it out. That's it. Now, the next thing is seasonality. We check the seasonality. What part of the year are we in the GBP cycle? And right now we're around here on 30th, right? And what we can see is from the 30th, GBP seems to dip up until ideally maybe 17th. In some cases, it could do a short dip to maybe the 3rd. Or if we have the longest dip, which you can imagine, it could dip all the way down here, which is till, the 8th of July, right? So it could dip off to the 8th of July. But for this sake, we can say we're going from the 30th. So I can say we would be so, and let's see, we can do there could be 3 potential exit. We can do to the 3rd. We can do to the 3rd. We can do to maybe somewhere around here, the 23rd. Or we can do to the 9th. I'm just making that clean. Okay. So we could exit either the 3rd, the 23rd, or 9th. And now I didn't really describe the seasonality. It has the average price movement in the past 45 years, 15 years, and 5 years, right? So we look at all three, and only when all three align, that's when we decide to take the trade. If they don't align, we don't touch the trade, okay? So in this case, they are all aligned right here, and then the COT is selling. So what we need to look for is the probability. Now, what's the chances, or what exact date should we go in for? Now, I've looked at most of the probabilities from the GBP, and I found 3 to be in alignment. Now, I like, if I choose an asset, for example, I like it to have 3 days in my direction. 3 days after have, the percentage has to be high in my direction that I want to go for. Now, because I'm selling GBP, which means euro should be going up. So if GBP loses strength, euro is meant to go up. So in this case, in May, we're seeing euro saying 55%, 59, and literally throughout the entire week, it's in our favor, and up until the 11th, before we even have stuff move against us, and then it might hold out through the entire month. So one thing I know, for example, is euro GBP, I can do long first till now, because I have the 3rd. We know that since we have the entire week, we don't need to exit at 3rd. We have the 23rd. So let's see your 23rd. It's looking good up until, yeah. So rather than exit on the 23rd, we can exit on the 18th, because that's the last time we see it go up. So we can put it 18th. And if I move too fast for you in this video, just watch the video again. You'll be able to understand it better. Now, next thing is GBP AUD. I've done the same thing looking at the asset. What I can see is GBP AUD have those 3 days going down. Then the week after also looks like it's going down. And yeah, that also looks like it's going down to the 18th right here. This could last the entire month up until maybe 26th, right? But because we have 23rd, we might as well just pack it up on the 23rd of May. So next thing we do is GBP AUD. Now, because GBP comes first right now, so we're gonna do short. But this one is from the 2nd. It could go longer than 23rd, but that would be an ideal exit, because we see that. And the main reason I said the 2nd is because on the 1st, it looks like it's going up, but from the 2nd, it started bottoming now. Then we also have one for GBP and ZD. I'm just going to run through that. That also happens from the 1st. Yeah. This might be one of those short-term ones, maybe to the 5th, because afterwards it's kind of like going down. So GBP, short. Man, I mean, you can exit on the 3rd or 5th, whichever floats your boat, really, on this one. So what we have now is, if we look at the asset, let's look at Euro GBP. All right, so Euro GBP on the weekly, you can see it's look all choppy and all of that. Well, let's look at it on a daily. Now, from the daily, what we can see is we're expecting Euro to go long from the 1st, right? But the first thing you see here is Euro went all the way down. Now, the thing is, when the market goes down, be sure to expect a bounce, right? And I feel this is the final push, which GBP is trying to push against the Euro. So before the Euro start rallying against him, most likely Euro might even top out. So with this one, it's quite a clear strategy. Market is pulling up into this right here, or that block right here, and somewhere within the zone, you'll be able to, figure out which way you want to approach the market, if you want to go in long from here within this zone, but you have to then, do your support and resistance and all of that stuff. Now that the technical side of things is a video for another day, but this is just to give you an example of how to use the tool and how much clarity you get in regards to knowing the exact date you're meant to go in. And we've only spent a few minutes, looking at this chart, and you can see that we already have 3 trades all called out already, having an entry and an exit day. So if you have an entry and an exit day, you can easily find where you should enter on that day and set your stop loss accordingly. I'll possibly do a video about technical indicators and how to set your stop loss, your take profit, and all of that stuff as we move along. But that's all I have for you guys in today's video. So uh, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share with friends and family, and join us on Telegram. And if you would like to get the tool and know exactly how the tool works, all you need to do is go to this website right here. You can go to business.damempire.co.uk, and then you can do /pricing, and it will give you a place which you can purchase the tool and have access to them. Right. So thank you very much for attending and watching this video, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section. I'll get in touch with you, or shout me on Telegram and I'll be there to answer your questions. Thank you.